Commander Vrex surveyed his latest catch with satisfaction. The gatherer's hold contained 30 bipedal creatures from a backwater world on the edge of the Orion Arm. Primitive technology, no registered spacefaring capabilities. Perfect for the slave markets of Dorlath. The specimens appeared physically fit, if somewhat small compared to other warrior species. Their lack of resistance during capture suggested limited intelligence. "Harvest complete, Commander," reported his second-in-command. "Minimal casualties." Their defensive capabilities were underwhelming. Vrex's mandibles clicked with amusement, as expected. "Schedule jump in 3 cycles. The buyers on Dorlath will pay premium rates for such well-muscled specimens." What Vrex didn't know was that his harvest included 8 members of Earth's Orbital Defense Force. Special Forces operators dropped planetside to investigate an anomalous signal. Their apparent docility wasn't fear, it was tactical patience. Lieutenant Gray lay motionless on the cold metal floor of the holding cell, eyes barely open, gathering intelligence. The aliens had taken their obvious weapons and equipment, but had missed the subdermal comms and the memory plastic blades embedded beneath their fingernails. Rookie mistake. 14 guards, he subvocalized, the message transmitted to his team through bone conduction implants. Rotation every 6 hours. Artificial gravity at 0.8 Earth standard. Air composition breathable, thin. Sergeant Reed responded with a subtle eye movement that only the team would recognize as acknowledgement. Their apparent submission had worked. The aliens hadn't even bothered with individual restraints, just an energy barrier at the cell entrance. "We wait until jump," Gray ordered. "Then we take the ship." The civilians huddled in the corners, genuinely terrified. A young man wept quietly. Gray didn't blame them. One minute they'd been hiking through the Colorado wilderness. The next, they were abducted by 8-foot insectoid aliens. The Special Forces team had been inserted precisely because of reported disappearances in the area. Too late to prevent this abduction, but not too late to respond. 3 hours later, a vibration hummed through the ship. Gray recognized the signature of a faster-than-light drive spooling up. The guards grew agitated, mandibles clicking rapidly as they secured equipment. "They're preparing for jump," whispered Corporal Martinez. "Gravitational interference will hit their systems for approximately 12 seconds. Gray nodded imperceptibly. "On my mark." The ship lurched. The energy barrier flickered. In that moment, 8 seemingly broken humans transformed into a precision fighting force. Gray moved first, expelling his memory plastic blade and driving it through the nearest guard's eye cluster. Reed targeted the environmental controls, plunging the corridor into darkness ideal for their enhanced optical implants. Martinez accessed the nearest terminal, his neural interface hacking through the alien systems with brutal efficiency. "Routing life support," Martinez reported, "increasing oxygen levels in our sector, decreasing in their command center." The alien response was chaotic. Used to dominating helpless species, they had no protocol for captives who could fight back, especially captives with Earth military augmentations. Lieutenant Gray moved through the ship like a ghost, his neural enhancements processing battlefield data faster than any unmodified human could. The aliens' movements seemed almost sluggish to him, their reactions delayed by comparison. "Command center secured," announced Corporal Wilson through the comms. Their captain offered surrender. I declined. Her tone was flat, professional, the voice of someone who had just delivered righteous retribution. Within 20 minutes, the humans controlled the vessel. The surviving aliens were secured in their own holding cells. Martinez had full control of the ship's systems, including its extensive database. "Sir," he called to Gray, "you need to see this." The display showed hundreds of worlds marked as harvest sites, thousands of species cataloged as stock, millions of sentient beings trafficked across dozens of galaxies. "They've been at this for centuries," Martinez said, disgust evident in his voice, "and we're not the first humans they've taken." Gray's expression hardened. "Download everything. Navigational data, client lists, supply chains, everything." Reed approached, wiping purple blood from her combat knife. "What's the plan, sir? We have civilians to consider." Gray studied the ship's schematics. "We return to Earth with the intel, and we come back with a fleet." The journey home took 3 weeks. The civilians adapted remarkably well, some even helping with ship operations after Martinez simplified the control interfaces. The team kept one alien alive, the commander, as a source of information and as evidence. When the alien vessel appeared in Earth orbit, it triggered every defense system on the planet. Gray broadcast on all military channels. This is Lieutenant James Gray, Orbital Defense Force, 5th Special Operations Group. Authorization code Sierra Tango 47 Echo. We're coming home, and we brought guests. 3 months later, a joint Earth fleet departed for the stars. Their mission: systematic dismantling of the largest slave operation in the known galaxy. Lieutenant Gray, now Captain Gray, led the Special Forces contingent. Commander Vrex, still in custody, watched through a view screen as the fleet jumped to FTL. His translator conveyed his confused chittering. Why? They were just primitives. One small world. Why risk everything for strangers? Captain Gray didn't bother looking at the alien as he replied. That's the thing you never understood about humans. We don't abandon our own. And now, we don't abandon anyone. The intelligence Vrex's ship provided led to the liberation of 16 slave worlds in the first year alone. The aliens who had once seen humans as easy prey soon learned to fear the approach of Earth vessels. The slave markets of Dorlaf fell silent. Their operators fled or imprisoned, and throughout the galaxy, a new phrase entered the lexicon of spacefaring species: don't harvest near Earth, because what looked like primitives might just be humans. And humans, as the galaxy was learning, didn't stay primitive for long.